You forced a young child to walk home alone? Late at night? Ma'am! Have you never heard of, stranger danger? Scary out there. I'd be mad at you too, oh my gosh. I'm a grown woman and I'm worried about getting kidnapped. An 11-year-old? What are these people thinking? Happy apple picking day! Scared off my mascot. Oh, she's looking at me. I kicked her off the chair and she's mad. She's looking at me in the corner. Come back, the people love you. Some quick reminders for any of our new friends. Hello, are you back already? Don't make any sudden movements, we'll scare her away. If you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. And as a weekly reminder, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is that we've all grown up living different lives and having different experiences, and those experiences are going to shape how we internalize these stories, how we hear the tones, how we perceive intentions. So it makes sense that not all of us are going to hear the same things or even pick up or catch the same things in the stories. That's the whole point of practicing constructive conversation down in the comments. You coming up? Hi! Oh my goodness, you're back. I missed you. You were gone for the whole first few seconds. I was trying to scoop you up, but you just kind of flopped. That's fine too. Hi. She's become such a lap cat lately. Oh my goodness, my sweet girl. I love you. I didn't grab my laptop, Vic, so we're gonna have to get the mallet again. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1! Alright, oh goodness, got the trusty mallet? It worked last time. Can I just, excuse me, squeeze on by? Can you make a decision? Okay, well, now we're going on the, are you gonna read from the laptop? Oh my goodness, hi. You're so nice. Am I the bad apple for telling my sister her baby isn't real? Ooh, do we have like a WandaVision moment? I, 26 female, got engaged to my fiance on January 1st. I was so excited to share this with my family, of course, and everyone congratulated me and my fiance. I sent a picture of my ring to my family group chat as well as my Instagram, and everyone's been commenting on the fact that I got a very big diamond. My diamond is a lab-grown diamond, and it's just under 5 carats. I specifically asked for a lab diamond as I believe they're more ethical, as you never know if a mine diamond is a blood diamond. My sister, 31 female, was very excited for me, but as soon as I showed her my ring, her mood changed, and she was telling me that it was too trendy, not timeless. But you's a timeless girly, huh? You's a timeless lady. My ring is a pear-shaped solitaire ring with a marquee band, and I love it. My sister told me there was no way my fiance could afford my ring. True, if it was a my diamond, it would be 10 times the price. And my fiance is a second-year resident. And that I should test to see if it's a real diamond. I replied that since it's a lab diamond, it's a lot less expensive. Well, then she proceeded to tell me how lab diamonds aren't real diamonds, and since they're made in a lab, it doesn't hold the same sentimental value. My sister's ring is a small 1-carat mine diamond. It's beautiful. I've never said anything bad about her ring, and it suits her. I tried to laugh it off and told her that I asked for a lab diamond and that I don't need a mine diamond or want a mine diamond. When I said that, she started yelling at me that it wasn't even a real diamond in the first place and that it was grown in a lab, not in the ground. That's when I said that, by her logic, my niece wasn't really my niece, isn't even a real baby because she was an IVF baby grown in a lab. And if something's grown in a lab, it must not be real. So my sister and her husband had a lot of issues conceiving as my sister had some complications with her health. Their IVF journey was really tough and they had multiple rounds and attempts and 1 miscarriage, but finally got lucky and had my very healthy niece last year. I know my sister had a hard time conceiving, and that was kind of the point I was trying to make. My niece started in the lab, but she has beautiful meaning behind her life too. But when I made the comment that my niece wasn't a real baby because she's an IVF baby, my sister started crying over the phone. Her husband then called me and berated me and told me that I was insensitive and couldn't understand the depths of her emotional turmoil and that I shouldn't have even started the fight over a ring. He even said I was ableist. I have the same health conditions as my sister. My mom says that it's not a big deal and that I should just let my sister cool off. And I usually babysit my niece pretty often, but my sister hasn't been answering my calls for a week. My fiance says that although I shouldn't have said that, I was justified. I didn't mean it seriously. I know my niece is a real baby and she's real. I adore her and spoil her all the time. So am I the bad apple? I hate everybody in this story. Literally everybody, except for the niece. We love the niece. That's the one exception. I hate everyone in this story for a lot of reasons. And I'll happily go through every single human being that is mentioned. First, actually the most important one that I'm gonna do the most important one first. I have friends in my life who have struggled with fertility. I'm about to start crying now thinking about what I'm about to say, but I have a very good friend who was in my wedding. I love this woman to bits and pieces, and she had a rough IVF journey, like multiple rounds, multiple miscarriages, and she just had her first baby like within the last 2 weeks. And I've been sobbing because I'm just so happy for her, because all she wanted was to become a mom. And I'm just so ecstatic that she's going to be the best mom, and I'm just literally over the moon for her. If anyone ever said something like that to her in my presence, run. Absolutely not. Like, do I understand what you were trying to say? For sure. Would I still have gotten ya if you said it? Mm-hmm. Because, like, first of all, in what world would, like, comparing a human being to a rock make sense? Like, first of all. Like, I understand what you were trying to say about a human being versus a rock. Second of all, the emotional pain that comes with infertility is something that, like, I've never even experienced because I've never had kids. I never tried to have kids. Are you done? My sweet baby. I got this right now. This and her brother. Those are my kids. Okay, you got a little warm. That's all right. They'll hang out on the floor. But even just watching my friends that have gone through it go through it has been so devastating. It's not a lighthearted comparison. It's not a lighthearted conversation. Like, to just casually throw that in an argument, even a stupid argument as that, but to just like casually like, oh, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, this is why your thing wasn't a big deal. Like, it belittles everything about that kind of pain and struggle, and like it's so blatantly unaware. And it's like, oh, well, lab grown's fine because it's cheaper and blah, 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 blah. Do you know how expensive IVF is? Like, literally the only actual comparison you can make is they're both real. Like, the emotions behind it are different, the finances behind it are different, like the reasons behind it, like, it's everything about it. Everything else is so completely like not the same that it was not a comparison that I think that you should make. And for that, like, that's just so, literally, if you compared anything else, I would have gone probably good apple, but like to just casually throw in someone's difficult journey of infertility into like a petty argument. I know it wasn't your intention to do it like that, but you did. And something that I've been talking to certain people a lot about lately is that, like, intention doesn't always matter, impact does. Whether you intended for it to be a lighthearted or like just a easy comparison for her to be understanding, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you thought it was going to do and what you thought it was going to bring to the conversation. You poked fun at her infertility. That's wrong. Now the sister, like, I feel like I shouldn't even have to explain this. First of all, to be so concerned with what someone else's engagement ring. Mind your business. What? Like, who cares? She likes it. That's all that matters. You like real diamonds. She likes lab-grown diamonds. Who cares? Who actually cares? Why does it bother you what someone else's ring looks like? Like, for me, I feel like she doesn't like that it's bigger than hers. Like, that's what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vibes that I'm getting. I could be off, but I could see her like just being upset that it's bigger than hers and her trying to justify in her mind of like why hers is fine. And I think that's so materialistic, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Those are just the vibes that I'm getting. I could be wrong, but I just don't love people like that, because at the end of the day, like, when you get married, it's not necessarily about the rock that's on your finger. It's not about how big your wedding is or what your dress looks like. Like, yeah, those are fun and they're good pictures and blah, 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 whatever. But like, at the end of the day, it's about the partner and the life that you're going to be building. And the rest are details. And so to be so caught up, like, It's not even like it's a fresh engagement. Like, you're married with a child and you've been married for however long because you got a whole child. So like, why are you still hung up on the size of your ring? Like, that's not the priority when it comes to a marriage, is what the ring looks like. That's just not. And I would be more understanding if it was fresh, like you just got engaged, because then it's all about the ring because you just got it and it's a new fancy accessory, right? And you're excited, but that's not the case. And I don't like the husband of the sister for, like, they've got the same condition and you're calling her ableist. Like, I love him being upset and looking out for his wife, but like, he's now including things that don't need to be included and is throwing labels and accusations, and that's ableist. They have the same condition. Just because OP isn't in the place to have a kid right now and hasn't struggled with infertility yet, like, if they have the same condition and it's caused the sister to have infertility issues, it's clearly going to cause the same kind of turmoil for OP eventually. So like, he's also kind of being insensitive to the fact that she's gonna have the same experience. And then I don't like the parents because they literally heard the argument that was had and they didn't take it seriously that OP was making fun of the fertility issues. And then I don't like OP's husband because he's like, oh, I think you were justified. You're never justified to poke fun at someone's infertility. I will die on that hill. No. So I just think we have a bad batch. And my wonderful editor, Lena, has a bad batch icon. Everyone say thank you, Lena, down in the comments. We love Lena. Give yourself a round of applause. She said, Rebecca, it's been too long. We need an icon update. You know what, you right. She's always literally, y'all, I don't know what I would do without this woman. It is what it is. Anyways, moving on. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for not letting my ex-husband have our daughter for New Year's? I, 39 female, was married to my ex-husband Tom, 40 male, for 7 years. After our daughter was born, he left me for his mistress. And ever since, he's almost always canceled on our daughter and always shrugged it off as his number one priority was his girlfriend. Well, that all came crashing down when the week before Christmas, he canceled on our daughter again. When I asked why, he just kind of said, oh, well, his new girlfriend isn't really a kids person, so she can't come over. I was appalled, and my daughter was so upset about it. So when the week before New Year's came, my ex-husband called and asked if he could spend the holiday with our daughter. I said, I thought your new girl wasn't a kids person and didn't want our daughter around. He broke down crying because apparently on Christmas Eve he had a ring and proposed, but she didn't say yes. She broke up with him. I yelled, you always cancel on our daughter and usually just shrug it off, but the moment your girlfriend breaks up with you, now you want to see her? No! She gets so upset when you cancel on her, so no. He got upset and actually had the audacity to say, but now I'm available. I just hung up. My daughter ended up going to her grandmother's house, my ex's mother's house, and they had a wonderful time. They saw the Wicked movie, they went to get some snacks and drinks, and ended up pulling an all-nighter. My daughter was so excited to tell me everything, but now my ex is acting like everything is my fault. So now I'm wondering, am I the bad apple? Okay, I have a lot of questions about this, because there's some things that I just blatantly can't speak to because I don't have the information. So first of all, what does the custody agreement look like? Like, do you have full custody? Did you not go through custody stuff yet? Like, what does that look like? Does he have no rights? That's a really big thing. That's important. Because if a judge has ruled you have full custody and you get to dictate exactly how much she spends time, then legally you're in the clear. Morally, I'll get to that in a little bit, but legally you're fine. If it's you have most custody, I don't remember the term right now, and he has partial or he gets her every now and then, even though he keeps canceling on her, you don't legally get to say no. You can use all the time he's canceled as evidence to the judge to change the custody agreement, but you don't get to just say no, he can't have his time. And if you haven't gone to the judge yet, you haven't situated custody stuff yet, then you also don't get to just keep his child from him. I'm pretty positive, just from looking at one of my really good friends' situation, because they weren't married, but they had kids, and then they split, and it was a whole thing. And he tried to take the kids from her. It was actually crazy. Since then, she was awarded full custody, thank God. But that was a big thing, that he can't just keep the kids from their parent. Like, it doesn't work like that. They're both parents. So because it didn't really specify what the situation is, I can't really speak to like the legality of it. Morally though, here's the thing. I don't know how old this kid is, and some of y'all might have very different opinions than me. Like, I'm not a parent, so I'm owning up to the fact that if I had kids and saw a child go through like this heartbreaking experience, I might have a different opinion, but I don't have that experience, so this is my opinion. I feel like it should be encouraged for a parent to continuously try to do better for their child throughout their life. And if he wasn't a good parent before, I think it's a good thing for a parent to say, okay, I messed up, I'm ready to step up now. And I think that when the kid is old enough to like reason for herself and, you know, decide if she wants to give him that chance or not, like, that's completely up to the kid. I don't think that should be up to you. And I don't know how old this child is. Like, if she's 3 or if she's 9, like, I don't think she's 9 because you were married for 7 years. But okay, if she's 3 or 7, like, she's gonna have different cognitive abilities to be able to make that call. Like, hey, do you want to see your dad? I'm like stuck because it's a rough stuck between like, you want to do what's best for the kid, but at the same time, it would be a good thing if he did finally step up. So I think that you just blatantly saying no, I don't love that. I understand why. I 100% do. I don't think that you're the bad apple for the reasonings behind it. He has been letting her down her whole life. He has not been stepping up. At the same, like, people don't ever change unless they want to change. And listen, I've always been a people pleaser. I always give people too much of the benefit of the doubt. That is my biggest red flag, is I am way too much of a doormat for people. So like, I'm not coming at this from a, oh, but give him a chance. I'm coming at from the point of like, I always give people too much of the benefit of the doubt. Like, that is my biggest flaw, and it hurts my feelings so much, like, all the time. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm not taking the mom seriously. That's just a fatal flaw that I have, is that I always give people too many chances. But I genuinely, if I was in that situation, what I would do is I would sit down with Tom and I would say, look, back to what I was saying before, people only change if they want to change. Like, if it's just a random Tuesday and he's like, oh, I changed, like, that doesn't give me much hope. But when there's a big wake-up call or a big change in someone's life and then they're like, okay, I want to do different, I'm willing to, or I usually believe that genuinely. You know, what I would do in this situation is I would sit down with Tom and I would say, hey, this is what you've been doing and this is the effect it's had on your child. I'm hoping that you're seeing that, like, these women, they come and go, but your daughter stays, and that needs to be your priority. And like, I would have this real heart-to-heart conversation with him about having your daughter a priority for him in his life, and that she needs to come first, and then give him the ability to step up in that role and do little visits at a time. And, you know, because at the end of the day, if he's willing to change and step up and be a parent for her, why would you not want your daughter to know that there are two parents that love her? Like, give him the opportunity to give her that. And then if he, you know, continues to be a deadbeat, that's a different story. But I think that when people do have these big life changes, that is an opportunity to get them to see reason when they're behaving poorly. And maybe that's naive of me. Again, I'm not a parent. I've never been in that situation. I think that's what I would probably do. And again, once the child is old enough to decide for herself, like, that'll be kind of her call. But without a legal ruling, that is my opinion. So I'm gonna go, like, it's like a soft bad apple. Like, kind of like just, this is like a little mushy apple. It's just a little mushy. You know, that's another icon that we can do. It's still in the bad apple category, but it's not like rotten to the core, you know? Like, I don't like your choice. Not that I don't like your reasoning. And a lot of times, if I understand someone's choice but don't agree with it, I'll go crab apple. But this one, I'm going bad apple because I think that the implications that it could have are a little bit more severe. Like, if you never give him the opportunity to step up, then your daughter will go through life feeling like she wasn't enough for her dad to get it together. And there's a chance that if you give him the opportunity, she will still feel like that. But there is also a chance that she won't. And I think, this one's hard. It's hard to put me in a mom's shoes. I mean, I know I got you, my little sweet gremlin. Even in the camera, let's move you closer, babes. Can you even see her? You can see her, my sweet girly. Maybe, I don't, bad or good? Bad or crab? Here's the thing. I'll go like soft bad apple for now, but I think y'all might be able to change my mind in the comments for sure. Like, I'm always really honest with you guys about like if there's a story that I think you'll be able to sway me or like really don't. And sometimes y'all surprise me, but I will allow the comments to sway, like really, like open the floor to you guys swaying me on this one, because I just know, like, I can't imagine, oh, I'm gonna get emotional. I've been so emotional in these episodes lately. I can't imagine not knowing that I could call my dad literally at any point in the day or night, and he would just drop anything and everything. And I just can't imagine not giving someone the opportunity to have that. Whew, I'm getting, we're intense. Whew, I gotta finish the episode. All right. So that's yes. We'll go bad apple for now. Good chance y'all can sway me in the comments down to crab. And it's not bad apple, and I think you're a bad person. I just don't like the choice that much. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for refusing to let my dad babysit? My father offered to babysit so my significant other and I could have a date night. So the last time I let my dad watch my kid is literally the whole reason that I don't feel like I can trust him. I have ASD, so picking up on tones and when people are joking is very difficult for me, and my father knows this. This has been the case for me my entire life. So it was my child's 4th birthday, and my dad wanted to take my kid to the front yard to play, and the yard doesn't have a fence or anything, and it's a very busy street. I told him not to take my eyes off my daughter because she loves to run and hide. It's a problem. Not long after they were playing, my dad all of a sudden comes running into the house saying that he can't find my child. Well, I start running outside and start screaming for her because I don't see her in the yard. Then she just pops up from behind a pile of leaves laughing. I bring her inside and my dad said, "Oh, I thought you would have known I was joking by my tone." I yelled at him that it wasn't funny, especially since she's disappeared on me before and has no sense of danger. I feel like I can't trust him to watch her after that. Well, this has my grandmother yelling at me, saying that she would never have spoken to her father that way. So, am I the bad apple? I feel like a lot of people that are parents are gonna disagree with me on this one, and I just want you to hear me out. Remember, again, I don't have this experience. I don't have kids. I have cats, and let me tell you, I do get so paranoid. Like, anytime I leave my house for an extended period of time, I immediately think, like, literally, I kid you not, this is my first thought. Oh my gosh, what if I left the doors unlocked and then someone goes into my house, and I don't even care about the things that they might steal. I care about what if they harm the cats. That is literally what I agonize over all the time. I don't know if y'all can hear her snore. Is the mic picking it up? It's so good. So here's the thing. I feel like a parent has every right to dictate who can and cannot watch their child. Period. It's not up to the grandparents, it's not up to the aunts and uncles, it's not up to the friends, it's up to the parents. And if a parent has decided, I do not trust you to watch my child, I don't trust you to watch the child. I think that's pretty white and black, you know? For me, at least, I feel like it is. Do I agree with your decision? Not necessarily. Now, here's the thing. Do I like his joke? No. Do I think the joke was funny? No. First of all, I feel like joking about losing a child when you've had a scare before it's not funny, period. But like, that's like a very tacky joke. I don't like that. Joking about something happening to someone's child, I'm not a fan of that. Now, if it's something that's like obviously ludicrous, like, oh my God, she ate so many carrots, isn't she turning orange? Like, that's something that's so ludicrous that like that's like a silly joke. There's no harm behind that. There's no actual scare behind that. Like, you know what I mean? To joke about losing someone's child when you've had issues with her, like that, I don't think that's funny. I think that's really tacky. Would I cause a riot and would I pick a fight and like hone in? That's not funny. And if you keep joking like that, I don't even, it's not even I don't trust you to be around this kid. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with your jokes. Yeah, 100%. I agree. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't see like the actual danger he put her in like you did XYZ and that's why you're not trustworthy. Like, actually, you know what? I guess he did leave her outside to come in and do the joke. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think how long he would have. Would he have been able to see her from the doorway? I don't know. Now I have questions. Is like, did he still have like a kind of eye on where she was hiding from where he like poked his head in and said, I can't find her? These are questions that I have. So on the contingency that like he did leave her outside by herself, a small child who does have issues running away and hiding and getting in things that she shouldn't get into, on the idea that he did leave her outside to come do this joke, I'll take that as like you left her outside to play this prank on me. Like, that's not safe. I don't really want you watching her until you like grasp how serious this is. So for that, I'll go good apple. I don't necessarily agree with the you fibbed about losing her and that's why I can't trust you. Like, for me, I'm more stuck on the you left her outside to pull the prank. Like, pulling the prank was more important than watching her. I don't love that. And I would use it as an opportunity to really like, I would pick the fight. This is not something that you joke about. This is not funny. This is not silly. This is not cute. And I would also use it as like an excuse to start teaching your child, hey, jokes are supposed to be funny, and if everyone's not laughing, then it wasn't really a funny joke. Like, I've said this in so many episodes, I hate the newer trend of pranking people and like causing actual emotional distress and actual harm. Like, those things aren't funny. They're not fun pranks. It's not cute. I'm not a fan of those things. Like, when you're actually causing emotional turmoil in someone for laughs, like, why is that funny to you? Why is it funny that someone that you care about is actually afraid or scared or upset or angry or devastated? Like, why is that funny for you? I don't get that. So yeah, I will go good apple with that one. I was gonna go crab apple. I talked myself into good apple. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for having a young girl walk home alone at night? My daughter, Rowan, 11, recently hosted her very first sleepover. She invited her best friend, Amanda, who's also almost 11, who lives just across the street in a cul-de-sac about 2 houses down from us. They did all the classic sleepover activities: pizza, popcorn, a movie, face masks, nail polish. Everything was going perfectly until around 11 p.m. when Rowan came into our bedroom to let me know Amanda was homesick and really wanted to go home. I went to check on Amanda, and while she assured me she was having fun, she just really wanted her mom. Fair enough. I texted her mother, Susan, to let her know what was happening, and she said it was fine for Amanda to come home. So Amanda packed up her things, and I walked her to our porch. From there, I watched her walk 2 houses down, the very short distance to her house, and go inside safely. I waited till she was in the house before I walked back inside myself. The next day, I ran into Susan while she was out walking in the neighborhood, and I asked how Amanda was doing. Well, Susan was furious. Apparently, Amanda had been upset about having to leave early, but what really got Susan's blood boiling was that I didn't walk her to the door. She berated me for letting her child walk home alone at night, in the cold, with the potential of God knows what happening to her. Again, we live in a very quiet cul-de-sac in a very safe neighborhood and area in town. I stood on my porch the entire time and watched Amanda walk into her house before I went in too. Amanda didn't seem scared or hesitant, and she never asked me to walk with her. To be honest, it didn't even occur to me that this would be an issue. Like, when I was a kid, I would walk outside by myself. Sure, I know times have changed, but I genuinely thought it was fine. Susan did not see it that way. She's still furious and has been telling neighbors that I put Amanda in danger. Despite my apologies to both her and Amanda, she's banned the girls from playing together. Now I'm wondering, was I wrong to not walk Amanda to her front door? Like, am I the bad apple? I'm gonna need a lot of moms to weigh in on this one, because I don't know if my opinion's gonna be a bad take or not, but I don't think so. Like, there was at no point in time where the child was really by herself. Like, she's 11. And I understand, like, going to your first sleepover is like a rite of passage for some girls, and some girls just, when they go to their first one, aren't ready for it, and that's okay. Being away from your parents for the first time can be really scary for young girls, and there's nothing wrong with her deciding at 11 p.m. that she wanted to go home. I think that what I would really like to see Susan talk to Amanda about, like, oh, you're really upset you had to leave early? Well, you didn't have to leave early. You wanted to leave early, which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, but no one made you. So if you want to try again another time, that's totally okay. You don't have to come home early, but if you want to, that's also okay. Just don't feel like if someone's giving you the option, you don't have to. I'm wondering if Amanda expressed, oh, this is the first time I'm away from my mom, I miss her. And then Rowan like took it upon herself to be protective friend and thought she was looking out for her. And then when Rowan's mom offered, Amanda felt maybe like, oh, they're asking me if I want to go home. Am I not welcome here? Do I need to go home? Like, I'm wondering if that's how she internalized it. Not that anyone would be in the wrong for that, for any of it. It just warrants a conversation to have with Amanda when she's clearly feeling like she had to leave. First of all. Second of all, I feel like there are some parents who go through a phase where their child is becoming old enough for more independent activities, and the parent is not ready for that, like at all. And I'm wondering if this is one of those things, and I don't at all want to seem like I'm bashing moms that are having trouble getting to that, like, letting go a little bit. Like, she's 11, you don't let her go, but, you know, just releasing your grip on the reins, just tiny bit. Because I feel like 11 is fine to walk 2 houses down when an adult has their eye on you the entire time, and I could be wrong, let me know. But, you know, I'm very fortunate for my childhood. I would not trade my childhood for anything. My family grew up right on the edge of a cul-de-sac, and like most of the houses in the cul-de-sac all had kids about me and my brother's age, and we would play all day outside. And everyone's backyards just kind of meshed into like this giant area, and we played kickball. Kickball was my favorite. We did kickball and tag and like all the other, all the sports, right? And I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure we were out there like by ourselves. And I remember going from house to house late at night. I mean, I feel like it was late. Who knows how late it actually was? I was a child. But you know, I was younger than 11 for most of it, you know? So and again, I know, what was that, like 20 years ago? I'm 28 now, but still, you know? I feel like it's reasonable for an 11-year-old to walk 2 houses down with an adult's eye on her. Like, I don't feel like someone needs to be holding her hand. Like, she's 11, so she's in middle school, right? Middle schoolers go to school dances, they have field trips, they change classes around the school, and they don't have someone holding their hand the whole time. My middle school, like, we had to walk outside. Like, half of our classes, you had to walk outside to get to different buildings. There's not an adult sitting there walking, holding your hand the entire time. Are there adults around? Yeah. And you know, sometimes, like, when you are going at 7:30 in the morning in the winter, it's pitch black outside when you're walking to class. So I feel like 11 is a reasonable age for that to happen, and I feel like Susan is just having trouble letting go. Not letting go, but like accepting that her daughter is not 5 anymore, and is going to be able to start doing more independent things as she keeps going. And that's my opinion, and if I'm wrong, please let me know. I don't actually know appropriate age things for kids to do whatever. Like, I taught high schoolers, they're grown by then. They're not, yeah. They're all driving themselves, and they're all working part-time jobs. Like, they got their own lives. I don't do the littles. So I could be wrong, that's totally fair. Just let me know in the comments if I am. But I'm going good apple. And I think, like, for Susan to make Amanda lose a friend over this, crazy. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That is so wrong to me, in my opinion. All right, so I got, and we can like differentiate between these now because we have an icon. A bad batch, a bad apple, and 2 good apples. Yeah, that's what I got. Let me know if you got anything different down in the comments. I would love to hear all your thoughts. And for your well wishes today, oh my God, we got options. Okay, this is so embarrassing. One of the days is, I can't even say the word, and I use it all the time. It's skincare. You know, the acid, hyaluronic acid. Don't come for me. How do you say this? Hyaluronic acid, is that correct? It's National Skincare Day, okay? That's just what we're gonna say. Skincare Day. It's National Granola Bar Day. It's National Squirrel Appreciation Day. And it's National Hugging Day. This is good national days to celebrate today. So if you had to pick, maybe you want to go and appreciate a squirrel by giving it a hug after eating a granola bar while you do your skincare. Like maybe that's what you want to do today. But if you had to pick one, which one would you be celebrating today? That's actually so difficult because I've really been stepping up my skincare lately. But also I'm just such an animal person, so I guess squirrel appreciation. I have to. I'll appreciate it by giving it a hug, and I'll give it a little piece of my granola bar. That's safe for them, right? I gotta Google that. Which one would you pick? I would love to hear down in the comments. And as a reminder, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and see y'all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.